Ever since I got the Zhuge Prime, some people have been saying in the comments that maybe this is going to replace the Platinum Arrow as my main weapon of choice. Maybe? Maybe not. Let's find out. Here we are in the simulacrum with the Platinum Arrow as per usual. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how long it takes for me to kill this corrupted heavy gunner with preferably nothing but headshots. So, 3, 2, 1. There we go. I will say that that was a pretty lucky shot because we did get a red crit and a viral proc as well, so that definitely swings it in the Platinum Arrow's favor. But if we use the Zhuge Prime, let's have a look at how long it's going to take. Here we have the Zhuge Prime, and on the bottom right hand corner you may notice that I've actually renamed this weapon to be called the Dragon Slayer, because in RuneScape at the very least, dragons are weak to crossbow bolts. So, same idea, 3, 2, 1. There we go. I think the time is pretty similar between both of those weapons. Either way, let's have a look at the builds that we are using for both the Zhuge Prime and the Paris Prime. Starting backwards with the Dragon Slayer, I've actually made a small change to the build because I had to swap things around. So basically we're using Speed Trigger instead of Prime Shred, and we're going to use Zhuge Sati Hexata, which gives us extra damage, extra status chance, extra multi-shot. And that extra status chance is definitely going to be something worth looking into for Steel Path missions, because status seems to be a lot better than crit at this particular moment in time. Whereas if we have a look at the Platinum Arrow build, it's the same Platinum Arrow build that we've always been using, featuring of course everyone's favorite Paris Critata, extra crit chance, extra damage, and not so much damage against infested, but who cares about that. Otherwise, the builds are all pretty similar, although this one doesn't have as much status chance because of course this is the Paris Prime. It doesn't really come with a lot of status chance to begin with. So whilst the single target test yields pretty similar results, ultimately where the Dragon Slayer will excel over the Platinum Arrow is of course in multi-targeted and also clumped up targets as well. So here we are again with Cora this time, because we're going to be using Ensnare to trap these enemies together. Now obviously with the Platinum Arrow we have to kill them all one at a time, although having that extra punch through is really, really good. We can take out enemies in a line, so there's that. So we can still take out a handful of enemies in one go, well, with some of these arrows anyway. But ultimately, it is a bit of a meme. It's going to take a lot longer because we're not doing radial damage per se. We are in fact doing just straight line damage with that punch through for the bow. Still pretty respectable, but you know, this is going to take a bloody long time. Whereas with the Dragon Slayer having its innate explosive arrows, that's obviously going to do a lot better. Using the same Dragon Slayer as well as the same Cora, let's put Ensnare down right now, trap these enemies together, and as you can see, these enemies are starting to die a lot faster than before, and that is because the explosions from the Dragon Slayer crossbow bolts, they actually give slash procs as well, which makes them a lot stronger than something like the Platinum Arrow with its incredible punch through. But what if all of those enemies lost their armor? Let's find out. So, same idea. Now we have level 150 corrupted heavy gunners who have no armor. If I put them all in an ensnare like so, you can see that the line damage, i.e. the punch through, is definitely a lot better with the Paris Prime, the Platinum Arrow, because we're able to kill these corrupted heavy gunners a lot faster with that extra punch through. But will this translate to similar results with the Dragon Slayer? Let's find out. Same idea with the Dragon Slayer, so let's put these level 150 corrupted heavy gunners into an ensnare again, and seems like that's a lot faster as well. Definitely not dealing with a line, we're definitely dealing with explosions instead. Although whether or not this is the same in a magnetized bubble, we'll just have to see. So, same idea, we're going to put them now into a magnetized bubble and then just fire as per usual. As you can see, the punch through of the arrows is definitely doing some work. And of course I could just drop the bubble now and they're all going to get blown up anyway, and that is of course something to do with the bubble itself. Whereas if we were to use the Dragon Slayer, this is what we would end up with. Same idea as per usual, let's put them in a magnetized bubble and that should do it. So it is a bit faster because, again, those explosions will actually help with getting rid of these enemies, as well as the status chance of putting everyone into a viral proc, because whilst those explosions do give everyone slash procs as well, they seem to also give everyone viral procs, so that's also really useful. And that's pretty much it. Now, I think personal preference wise, I think I'll still stick with the platinum arrow for the most part, but at some point I might actually jump into the Dragon Slayer as well. Ultimately, I think that I won't be finding myself in situations where there's a huge clump of enemies. Even in Steel Path survival missions, I find that enemies that are sort of clumped up, they're still clumped up in a bit more of a line, they're still spread out a little bit to the point where the Dragon Slayer explosions aren't doing as much damage as I would like. Of course, as I am Mag, using a Magnetize bubble is just the best way to do it, because you just then grab everyone and then clump them all together. When the Heart of Demos comes out, you can also consider using something like Chorus and Snare instead as well, because Snare is actually coming to all Warframes via the helmet if you decide to actually use Aura. So that's really good as well. Alternatively, there are other Warframes like Nidus who can give you something like the Lava Burst that can also be really good as well. But for me personally, just clumping them in together, it just means that both the Platinum Arrow and the Dragon Slayer are able to just shine massively. And because I do have such a massive affinity for bows as opposed to crossbows, I personally will be sticking with the Paris Prime, the Platinum Arrow. But again, I could sometimes jump into using Zhuge Prime, the Dragon Slayer, because as you can see here, it is very strong. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Would you rather use a bow that has a lot more punch through, or would you rather use a bow that has exploding bolts, or a crossbow at least that has exploding bolts? Because it's not a bow, it's a crossbow. Slightly different kind of things. It ultimately functions like a rifle though, so there we go. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.